Augsburg University African Literature Professor Mzinga Wanyama is like a lot of Minnesotans, a family man, a Lutheran who lives in the suburbs. But after 26 years in this country, Professor Wanyama and his wife Mary have been told by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to get ready to return to their native Kenya.
They really cannot do anything about it. ICE can't change my situation. All they can do is execute the order that was given by the court.
Wanyama faces threats from political adversaries in Kenya, but his bid for political asylum was turned down. He was summoned to the Whipple Federal Building at Fort Snelling for a meeting with ICE agents today and had to surrender his passport.
Hello, I'm Hunter Olson. I'm a senior here at Augsburg, majoring in communications and environmental science.
Hi, I'm Brigitte Zolzel. I'm also a student at Augsburg, and I'm a communications major and a marketing major.
I'm Jacob Swyven, and I'm a clinical psychology major and religion minor here at Augsburg.
And I'm Ben Adler. I'm an Augsburg University student studying both music and performance. Today, we're reviewing the deportation case of Kenyan native and Augsburg University English professor Mzinga Wanyama. After several years of facing potential deportation and having his asylum case denied, the federal administration is cracking down and executing the order through ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Wanyama first immigrated to the U.S. on a student visa in 1992, which expired in 2005. He then applied for asylum because he thought he and his family would be unsafe due to some articles he wrote that criticized the nation's leader. Today, we're going to get some opinions from students and faculty here at Augsburg and gauge the overall sentiment of this situation. Hi there, we've officially gotten out in the streets here in Augsburg University. You can see some people today outside, and we've gone ahead and we're going to interview some people, asking them some questions about the current situations. I'm here with Spencer Olson. We're going to ask you a few questions. Hi Spencer, how are you today?
Good, I'm good, very good today.
That's wonderful. Are you aware of the current circumstance with Professor Wanyama?
I am aware. I've heard some very sad things about him.
Yes, that's too bad. Do you think that this is an instance of the federal government once again marginalizing the immigrant population?
I do, I really do. You know,
I feel that. Hi, I'm here with Kevin Tran, who is the recipient of the Dean of Students Award and also an inductee of the Senior Leadership Society. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing so well.
Oh, great.
It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank
so
you.
we wanted to go ahead and ask you a couple questions about the current deportation situation with Professor Wanyama.
Yeah.
What are your overall thoughts about the situation?
It's absolutely horrible. Like, he's a member of our community. He's done nothing wrong to deserve any of this. He's done everything to benefit years and years, generations of students, so I don't understand what's going on here. This is just a horrible situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you think that this situation is a conflict between federal and state conceptions?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, and we're back, and I'm here with Laura Mickles, who is an Augsburg University student and vocal connoisseur. It's great to have you here, Laurel. How are you? Good. That's wonderful, that's wonderful. And do you think that the regulations over here are too strict and should be loosened up for immigrants to come in? Or how do you think that we should revise the situation to make it easier for immigrants to fit in?
Yeah, I think it should be easier for people to live here. It's supposed to be, home of the free. So definitely people should be able to feel like they have a place to call home when they come here and not be afraid that they're going to be deported and taken out, especially after as long as he has been here. It's been his home for so long. It's awful that he has to leave. So yeah, definitely we need to be less strict about those things. And there are better ways of going about it.
Hello and welcome back. I'm here with Francesca Chiari, who is the former vice president of ISO, the International Students Organization, and also the current vice president of the student body. Welcome, Francesca.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's very nice to have you here. We are here discussing the current situation with Professor Wanyama, the English professor at Augsburg University, who is facing deportation. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Oh, that sucks, actually. ICE has been on a lot of, can I curse over here?
Do it. Yeah.
It's been on a lot of bullshit, I'll be honest, yes. It was pretty upsetting also to see like after all of the movement that has been done in support of the professor, like how nothing has worked. So Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you're seeing this from a bit of an outsider's perspective as well, which makes your perspective unique. Francesca here is an Italian foreign exchange student. So what are your thoughts of the American policies coming from an Italian upbringing?
For me, it's just the thing is that like lately, especially with visas, has been like way more and more complicated, especially if you're not a STEM major. But my situation is way different from the one with the professor. The professor has been here for 20 years, and just suddenly ICE has decided that he did not belong here anymore. For me, it's different. I come here and I know that eventually maybe I'll have to go back home, but this was his home at this point. So yeah.
Absolutely. Have you seen immigrants facing similar problems in Italy and Europe?
In Italy, we have a pretty big immigration problem right now. We have been trying to give like as many green cards as we can. Italy has been one of the main countries in Europe that has been giving home to immigrants. The problem that I see is other countries in Europe are not helping out, I'll be honest. Yes. So.
Absolutely. That brings me to my other point. Do you think that this is more of a state problem or a federal problem?
Ooh, that's a really good question, actually. I would say they're probably federal. It starts bigger. It starts as a bigger, and then like you can go like focusing on the smaller entities. But yes, it should be. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how much of this do you think actually falls on the shoulders of Professor Wanyama? He came here on a student visa in 1992, which expired in 2005, 13 years ago. Henceforth, he's been denied by 3 separate administrations to receive asylum, and now he's sitting here and faced with actual deportation under the Trump administration. But he had already received rejection from the courts under the Obama and the Bush administration. Do you think that he is in part to blame for this, or do you think this comes down to a federal problem?
As once again, as international students, I have a different perspective about this because yes, you are aware of like what you can and what you cannot do. So maybe there is a little bit of like consciousness that should have gone behind that. Like yes, eventually they're gonna come and get me, or there is the possibility they're gonna come and get me. But also I think that still it's a federal issue that needs to be addressed in a bigger picture. And yes, maybe the professor kind of like had to like be aware of the fact that eventually might have happened. But yeah, it's more of a federal still.
Francesca, we thank you for your time and your opinion. Very valuable.
Good job!
Hello and welcome once again. I'm here with University Professor Lori Hale, who is also a chair member on the Bonhoeffer Society. Yes. Hi Lori, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
That's wonderful, good to hear. Now we are here currently discussing the situation with the deportation of Professor Wanyama. Are you aware?
I am aware.
So we're discussing the current ethics behind it and what's going on. We're trying to get some insight of the overall sentiment amongst the staff and faculty, as well as the students. Do you think that this is another situation of federal marginalization of immigrant communities?
Absolutely. I think it's short-sighted. I think it undermines everything really that this country stands for.
Very interesting. Do you think this is any part due to Wanyama? He has been denied by 3 different administrations for over 13 years after his first student visa expired in 2005.
I will admit I'm not as familiar with the intricate details of the case, and so I hate to speak to specific issues related to his case, but I think in general we are a country built on the insights and the integrity and the wisdom of people from other places, and he is someone that we want to continue to have their voice in our community, in our country, and I think his deportation, this whole process, is a travesty.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. One more question for you, if you wouldn't mind. Do you think this mostly lands on our local community, the ICE organization, or the federal government?
That's a really difficult question. I think this is a case where it has to come together. All of those organizations at all those levels have to work together to change the policy and to change the culture of this current administration and the country in general.
Absolutely. Lori, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This is important to our school specifically because of how valued Professor Wanyama is here to our English department. This is specifically outrageous because Augsburg was not contacted by ICE for usual protocol to assess the importance of Professor Wanyama as a gainful employee.
This is also a noteworthy case in regards to the surrounding community, commonly known as Riverside, which is home to a high-density population of immigrants from numerous cultures. Professor Wanyama has been contributing not only to Augsburg, but the surrounding community for the past 26 years, 13 of which have been here at Augsburg.
We believe this situation to be a great example of a Bonhoeffer moment. The use of nonviolent protest and civil disobedience, which have been shown by students and faculty here at Augsburg, as well as citizens from the surrounding community, show the importance of this injustice and why this wrong must be corrected.
As shown by our interviews around campus and by the media coverage of this atrocity, there's clearly an overall conception against the deportation of Professor Wanyama. Even Governor Dayton asked the head of ICE for more consideration, saying that his deportation would be a, quote, terrible loss to the community and to students like us. Thank you.